Top accolade African news updates. I am Soibifa Jackridge. Niger's junta has said French soldiers remaining in the country should complete their withdrawal by 22nd December. The remaining 157 troops are mainly from teams covering logistics, the junta said in a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter. It added that 1,346 French military personnel have already left the country. There have been tensions between France and Niger following the 26th July coup, led by General Abdourahmane Tishani, that disposed democratically elected president and French ally Mohamed Bazoum. France began to pull its troops out from Niger in October. The junta had ordered the French to leave, having accused the European nation of trying to reinstate President Bazoum by force. The military leaders also said they plan to end some historical military and economic agreements with Paris. Niger was seen as one of the West's last allies in the Sahel region in the war against terror. France's influence in the area has been waning following a wave of coups across some of its former colonies. 8 months after her arrest, a heavily pregnant detainee was escorted into court in Senegal's capital Dakar for the start of a trial for her involvement in a counterfeit money scheme. The 42-year-old had spent the bulk of her pregnancy in overcrowded prison cells, sharing mattresses with up to 3 women and hoping as her belly swelled to be freed before the baby was born. Then, a judge offered her a lifeline to go home and be tracked remotely with an ankle monitor during the trial. Like most countries in Africa, Senegal's prisons are old, overcrowded, and cannot manage the thousands incarcerated for petty crimes or those in pre-trial lockup. Many are ineligible for bail because they do not have the official addresses. This year, it launched a pilot scheme to reduce the prison population by releasing hundreds of inmates under electronic supervision, the first country to do so in West Africa. According to the government, if successful, it could become a blueprint for other countries with clogged jails. Morocco and Togo are already pursuing similar programs. Ankle monitors have their critics. However, detractors say they do not resolve the underlying causes of crammed cells, including harsh punishments for minor crimes and glacial judicial systems. Rights groups fear they may be oversued for surveillance purposes. At least 176 people have died in Ethiopia's northern Tigray state due to drought-induced hunger, authorities said. Hadush Asmelash, a regional administrator, told Tigray TV that those who have died so far comprise 101 men and 75 women. About 45,000 people in Emba Sieneti districts are facing severe hunger, worsened by 2-year civil war and droughts. Governor Kidamariam Surafel said. The authorities also said there was an increased number of people fleeing their homes as a result of the ongoing drought and insufficient humanitarian aid. Last week, the Tigray Interim Administration declared a state of emergency after more than 200 people died from drought-related hunger in recent weeks. The Horn of Africa has had 5 failed rainy seasons since 2019, according to the UN. The US and UN suspended aid earlier this year after allegations of theft, a move that has worsened the humanitarian crisis. Tigray is recovering from a 2-year civil war which ended a year ago, while a conflict has erupted in the neighborhood Amhara region. A brave response to uphold the safety of the youths. 8 male students who had been adopted by suspected separatists from a school in the war-torn Anglophone northwest region of Cameroon have been freed, authorities say. Abdullahi Aliou, a local administrator, said the armed men stormed the school in Esu area on Tuesday and tortured the students before adopting them. 2 classrooms and the principal's offices were set on fire during the attack. Some schools officials officials, including the deputy principal, were also kidnapped. Several students who sustained injuries are being treated in hospital. The 8 students who were kidnapped were all freed following the intervention of defense and security forces, Mr. Aliu said, without providing details on the whereabouts of deputy principal and other school officials. For over 6 years now, separatists have imposed and enforced a school boycott in English-speaking regions of Cameroon. The separatists see schools as an arm of the French-speaking majority's rule. The separatists have attacked students and teachers who defy their orders. No group has so far claimed responsibilities for Tuesday's attack. More than 700,000 children have lost access to education after the closure of several schools since the conflict began in 2017. According to the UN, about 6,000 people have been killed and hundreds of thousands displaced in the conflict, the International Crisis Group said. That is the size of top accolade African news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Tuesday.